books. Got me writing books, got me feeling like a bro. I don't do it by the book, but for you I'll take a look. Don't know what your mama took. Sweet and spicy like a cup, yeah. I'll keep it real, let's make a deal. Buy you a meal if you just any deal. Get out your heels, grab on the wheel. Back to my place at the top of the hill. Don't ever rest, I know what's next. She even fresh, I get back this day. Look at the mess, don't make me dead. Back to the room, let me show you my bed. Yeah, it's like taking on each other. Got me feeling good, yeah, got me feeling.
Sunny TV Arsenal, and we're live, and we're kicking off a new show. It's the Muscle and Fitness and Health Show. And you know what? If you want muscle, health, and fitness, don't look at me. Look at my man on the right hand side. It's the freakiest biceps in bodybuilding. Leonard Sincere, the legend. Len, how you doing, my bro? You good? Hang on, one second.
Muted me, have you? Oh,
schoolboy error for me. Do you know what, Len? You're a lot bigger than me, right? And that's the only time in life I'll be able to mute you.
No. Listen, it's just the angle of the camera. The angle of the camera is very important. You know how to use your camera so you look a way that you know you don't usually look. It's all about the angles, mate.
My bro, there's not a camera for you which has got a wide enough angle. That's the problem. Lenny, the freakiest bodybuilding, the freakiest arms in bodybuilding. Introduce yourself to the viewers and tell them who they're speaking to.
Okay, my name is Leonard, or Lenny Sincere. I am a guy who's been around a while. I'm a bodybuilder. Well, you could say I'm a has-been, but you know, I've done this for a few years. I've been competing for a while. I last competed in 2018. My first ever show, I was 16 years old, and that was in 1985. So I have been around a while, and I love what I do, and I love to inspire and educate others.
Len, you know what, man? How did you start competing at 16? I mean, that's unheard of.
Well, to be honest, I'm from a different era. Well, we are.
Yeah.
I just wanted to improve my physique, and I wanted to get bigger. So I decided to join a gym when I was 15 years old. Had to ask my mum's permission, really. She eventually said yes. And my older brother, he had a mate who used to train. And ironically enough, the gym where I first started training is just about probably about half a mile away from here. So I've come all the way back to where I started. So it was a community center, and I trained when I was 15 years old in the Hub Community Center.
Well,
many years ago.
I've known you for about 25 years. Put it about that. 20 years. It's about 20 years.
Okay.
It's a long time anyway. You know what? Lenny hasn't changed a bit. I've aged. This guy hasn't changed a bit. He looked that old even when he was younger. No, I'm only joking. We was going to have Paul Ehren on tonight. Paul is another one of our experts. We was going to go through the immune system and the effects it has on the body, especially with this COVID-19 stuff going on. But on this channel, what we're going to do in the coming weeks, we're going to look at health, your well-being, your mental state, basically positive thinking, nutrition, diet, training, sleep, everything you need for the body to function.
Everything, a whole lot.
Everything. So it's everything. So it doesn't matter from what walk of life you are. You know, if you're just starting on your journey, you know, or if you just take your dog for a walk, that's your training. Or if you're a competitive bodybuilder, to an athlete, you know, we're gonna have tennis players on, we're gonna have footballers on, we're gonna have physios on, we're gonna have dancers on, and Lenny's all of those already encompassed into one.
A footballer, dancer, I'm a posing coach, but you know, I can give it some of that when I'm in, you know, when I'm posing with everybody, so I can move.
But just a little message to everyone watching. So hello to everyone in the comments. Yeah. The first thing you need to train before you pick up any weight, any protein shake, anything you put in your mouth is this. That's the biggest muscle that you need to train. If you get your mental, if you get your mind right, and then followed by this, which is your heart, there's nothing else that you can't achieve. And you know, bodybuilding is a very demanding sport. It's a bit like the army, isn't it, Len? The fact that you have to be very disciplined. It's a disciplined subject, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I would say the most important thing, so the most important aspect of my life, which I've had, is consistency. I've been training a while. I've had a few times where I've had time off. One time I had a TIA, a mini stroke, and that put me out for about 3 or 4 months. And I've had surgery a couple of times, and that put me out for about a year or so. But that was forced. I couldn't train in those times. But other than that, I've been very, very consistent, and that's the most important thing. Plus, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to have a passion. I love training all the time. I train as much as I can if I'm allowed to, and I train when we're on holiday. I try to organize my days where I don't have to sacrifice my training, so I can enjoy my life as well as train. So I have to organize my day where I can train early, and then I spend time with my family, so with my partner, so we have a good time, and I don't have to think I'm going to be away training while I should be relaxing. So I make sure that I organize my time, and I organize my structure where I can do as much as I can.
That's a fantastic point. It's a time management, because a lot of people fall into the misconception of they've got they won't go out because they need to eat because they haven't prepared properly. They need to go to the gym, or they're dieting, and you get relationship breakdowns and all sorts of things. So it's a matter of just managing your time, isn't it? Which is a lot of it.
Well, it is. But you got to remember that I do this full time. I'm a trainer full time. A lot of people who compete or who diet or who just want to train have a full-time job, so they've got to work around their job commitments. Plus, they have to prep the food if they want to have a good balanced diet to train hard and to gain as much muscle or get their goals, achieve their goals as quickly as I can. So it's all about having the time to do all these things. Luckily, I have the time to prep my food. I have the time with my clients, and I have the time to train according to how busy I am. But you have to find the time to achieve your goals, and it depends on how much you want it. You're going to have to want it. You have to have that desire and that motivation to achieve goals. It's not easy, but if you really want it, you can achieve it.
You know what? When someone sees a big guy like yourself,
I'm not a big guy, Sonny. Come on, mate.
This guy got small screen.
Back in the day, mate. As I said, the camera makes me look silly.
It was your birthday the other day. Many happy returns of the day to you.
42, yep.
Many happy returns of the day. I think you're a bit older than that, but are you a bit older than that? Or is it?
42, Sonny. 42, mate.
Well, I'm your senior then by quite some way.
All right, 52 then.
I'm 52. So you're my senior by 3 years. You know what? So basically, it's your birthday the other day. So happy birthday to you. When people see a big guy, and on this particular on my channel, it's more of a reality show, right? I don't hold anything back. If I'm upset, I show I'm upset. If I'm happy, I show I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I also allow people to make the comments which they want to make within reason. And steroids was not really a subject I want to go on to straight right now, and it's not what this topic is going to be about tonight. But people just look at you. And I've just had a comment. I just had someone in the comments just saying, "Well, steroids isn't healthy, then, is it?" So I just want you to just squat that away like a fly over that statement first, and then we'll go on to the rest of the show.
Sure. Well, no, it's not healthy. I've been, I'm not silly. I'm still here. As I said, I've been training 37 years. So I am aware of what I've done in the past, okay? And I'm aware of what I do now. I've had longevity in the sport. because I don't abuse anything. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Okay, I take the right advice, and I know when to stop. So I am in control, and that's the most important thing. I am in control of what I do. I'm still relatively healthy. Okay, and that's the most important thing. I say relatively. I've got a few injuries, which you get you get wear and tear of the joints. I mean, I'm 52 for God's sake. I've got pains in my knees. I've got pains in my shoulders, which is normal. But it's a question of anybody who goes that way, who takes performance enhancing drugs, they're taking a risk. So it's up to them to manage it. That's it. That's all I can say on that, really.
It's true. You know what? If you train, whether you train as a natural athlete, whether you train as a serious bodybuilder, you're going to get injuries. Whether you take and whatever you eat, it's a lot of it's down to technique anyway. It's not what you put in your body. It's the technique of your training as well. Again. Footballers and all sorts of things, they take their creatine, they take this and they take that, and it's just part and parcel of the sport. But we're not going to get to that. But we are going to actually do a show on steroids down the line. But tonight's not it. What we are going to talk about is life in general at the moment as well. With the COVID-19 pandemic was going on, for me, it's just like it's World War III, but an invisible one. And I think for me, Len, you know my history. For the last 4 years, I've been struggling. I lost my wife to cancer, and then I've had illness and financially things have not been great. Being a single parent, and it took. So I was very down, very down, and this pandemic ain't really helped because you can't go to the gym, you can't throw a bit of some weight out, you can't go and see a friend or whatever. So it took a 5-minute conversation with you the other day, and you know what? For me, it gave me a focus, gave me what I want to do, and it's actually turned me around there to get back training, get back work, doing what I like to do, get back, making the dollars. So, give us your thoughts behind what's going on at the moment and what people could do to make themselves feel better, and how do you keep your positive energy when you've got bullshit thrown at you all the time?
You know what? To be honest, we can't control the situation we're in now. Yeah, and I'm always a believer. You've got to make the most of it, because you've got to look at it. If you're depressed and if you're upset and if you feel that you can't train and you feel that life is going to come to an end, well, it's not. Okay, you got to feel there's other people in a worse position than you. There's people in hospital dying because of this COVID-19. Okay, and if you're relatively healthy, embrace that. Do something with your time that you have. You've got a lot of time on your hands, so you've got a lot more time to think about life in general. You've got a lot more time to think about what you're gonna do and what you're doing now to improve your life, improve your life skills. Start reading a book or start taking up a hobby that you could do at home. I mean, my partner, she's fantastic. She's Dutch, but she's fluent in German, Spanish, and English. I don't know how many she speaks 4 languages: English, Dutch, Spanish, and four or 5 languages. Anyway, she speaks a few, and I'm starting to learn a bit of Dutch and a bit of German. Spanish, I learn a bit. I know a bit of Spanish anyway because I used to live in Spain. But I have to brush up on my Spanish. I mean, what I'm saying in general, there's so much you can do with your time. You have time. We have time here. You cannot be bored. Come on. You cannot be bored because there's always something that you can do.
You know what? Since lockdowns happened as well, right? Even through this channel, there's people you think you can't usually speak to. Like there's certain celebrities I've connected with recently. There's people who honestly would have been too busy in life and wouldn't have had time for people. But I'm finding through this channel, there's a lot of people who are going to come on the show soon who wouldn't have had the time before. So what it's done, it's given me this opportunity to sit down and think and gather my thoughts as a person, see where I am in life, and start taking them steps that you've actually said. So people sitting at home at the moment. Then the gyms are closed. The gyms are closed. Kids are running around. Tensions are high. Money's low. On a physical and spiritual level, for instance, training wise, I mean, what can I do training wise, healthy eating wise, and just generally feel better about themselves?
Well, you know what, I tend to have a structure at home. It's generally like it used to be before. Well, when it was normal. So I'd wake up at a certain time. I'm fortunate enough to have a spinning bike upstairs in the loft area. So I ride my spinning bike for I do like a hit session of cardio for about 20 minutes. 30 seconds of high intensity, 30 seconds of medium intensity for 20 minutes. That gets my heart rate going. That gets me feeling good. After 20 minutes, I'm sweating. That's the start of my day. I come downstairs. I have my eggs. I have a pint of lemon water. I squeeze a lemon in a pint of water, and that's it. My day started. So I have a structure.
So give us what you're going to be eating for that day. For instance, and what time you're going to put your training in as well. Obviously, for you it's different because this is your job. Other people working, but so you start off with your cardio in the morning. Can you explain to the viewers why the cardio before workout is so important?
Well, for me, a lot of people, there's a lot of discussions about whether it's good to do fasted cardio. Okay. I particularly like doing this. The reason why is because before I used to count my carbs, and I used to count I used to count all my macros. My macros were there, but because of lockdown, I've decided I eat a bit of food in the afternoon as well. So in the evenings, before I just used to have protein and veg, so I didn't really used to have any complex carbs. But now I have a few complex carbs at night, and I feel good in the morning. I'm not that hungry, so the first thing I do is get on the bike, and I'm burning my body fat really, and I'm burning a bit of energy from the night before. So I feel really good, and then I decide to have my breakfast after that. But there's a lot of discussions about whether people should do fasted cardio because they don't think it's as effective. But in my opinion, I like it. I like doing fasted cardio, whether I eat carbs the night before or not. It just makes me feel motivated, and it gives me that energy for the next day to make me feel positive. And that's what I do. I do something. I've been doing that for a while. But as I said, I do have a few carbs at night now because I'm sitting there. If we're sitting there watching a film or if we're watching a series, I want to have a bit of carbs, man. But it's all, it's all cleanish. I eat cleanish food. I do have a few bit of sugar here and there, but we're in lockdown, for God's sake. Come on.
Len, do you do your cardio every day?
Every day. Every day I do 20 minutes of HIIT, and I have a workout roughly about 9:30, between 9:30 and 11, and then I go for perhaps a 2-hour walk. We go for a 2-hour walk in the afternoon. So that's my day. That's my structure. So I'm burning the calories.
This is Springer's Ian Wadley's family. Big up Sunny and Len, loving the content. Sunny, you seen Wadley's Disco today? I'm gonna go and check that out. I'll go and check that out. Wadley, you better give me a mention, bro. With me, I used to hate cardio. I still hate cardio. Didn't used to do any cardio at all, right?
Yeah.
Partly because I shin splints when
hold on a minute. So hold on, Sonny. Before you carry on, I mean, you're sitting there chatting to me. You could be riding a bike. You could be doing all that when you're chatting to me, doing a bit of cardio.
I'm going to. To be honest with you, I bought a cross trainer, and it's a clothes horse. It's turned into a clothes horse. So I need to get I'm 49. I'm 50 in September, but I need to get. Bro, I used to have a fast metabolism, and when I used to eat shit. Shit, not bullshit, but when I used to eat rubbish, it tended to go off with training, even without cardio. You know, and if I did train properly and done my cardio, I would have looked a lot better. And now I'm in this life now. Well, I ain't got used to doing the cardio as often. I'm now finding it difficult. I'm at a wall like that. It's like that there. It's a wall.
No, mate. I mean, look, you know, you can get back in no time. You just get into a habit. It takes about 3 weeks to get into a habit. There you go. In 3 weeks' time, you hit it hard now. In 3 weeks' time, you'll be used to it, mate. That's it. You know, I don't think there's any excuses for anybody. You know, you just have to put your mind to it. I sound like a teacher.
Let me ask you another question, Nick.
You know what I mean? Because I'm passionate about this, because I feel that, especially in this time, nobody really has an excuse. You know, I suppose I'm fortunate enough. I've got a couple of dumbbells here, and I've got a few plates, and I've got a barbell here. So I could do, and obviously I've got resistance bands, so I can do basically any body part, and I could do it good. Okay, I just work it harder. I do more reps. I increase the rep range, and that increases the intensity because I rest less between sets. So my intensity levels are still as hard as when I'm training in the gym, but perhaps I'm training a little bit more often because I need that bit of a push. Because I'm thinking I'm not in the gym, so therefore I've got to train even harder. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Okay, yeah. Because initially on this channel, we're going to a lot of people are going to watch it. Are not everyday gymmers, right? They're not gymmers. So, and the more popular we get, and obviously the community are going to know that you're on, and the other guys are going to be on. It's going to attract a lot more hardcore athletes from various different sports subjects. So for someone who's going to the gym and you know they're into it, but they don't really know about their nutrition properly. They don't weigh their food, for instance, and also they're not sure. All they know is in their mind is, you know, I've got to lift as heavy as I can to try and get as big as I can. Can you dispel a few of those myths?
Okay, which one do you want first?
Let's go through because you're talking about your rest between sets. Okay, and we're talking about intensity.
What's that? What are you talking about sex there? You said something about sex.
You don't rest between sex. You let her rest. You don't rest.
Rest between sex.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he was going to get funny with me there, Sonny.
Bro, I've known you for a long time. I know there's no risk for you.
Right. Okay. So to increase intensity, it's either two ways. You can increase the amount of weight you use, or you can decrease the amount of rest between sets. All right, so we're on lockdown. So, you know, if you don't have any weights, you don't have any plates, you're going to use like bands. If you don't have bands, you're going to use your body weight. So in relatively speaking, it's probably going to be a little bit easier for you to train at home, but it's harder because you don't have any equipment. So to make it harder, you have to increase the intensity. So if you're going to do squats, for instance, body weight squats, say, for instance, you're going to do loads of reps to get that intensity. So you're going to do loads of reps, and then you're going to get the burning in your legs, and then you're going to rest less, but you're going to do it again, perhaps about 20 seconds later. So you're going to do like 40 reps of standing squats. Rest 30 seconds, do it again. 30 seconds, do it again. You're going to get burn. You're going to get a mighty burn in your legs. So that's increasing the intensity. So you've got that nasty pain in your legs because you haven't rested, you haven't used any weight, but you've used loads of reps because you've got to use what you have. And if you haven't got weights, you've got your body, which is weight. You've got your body weight. So make use of what you have and utilize it. If you don't, you know, I've got some water here. I've got 2 liter bottles of water. You can use that as a shoulder press. Easy. That creates resistance. It's weighted. You know, I suppose, these 2 liter bottles, they probably weigh about 2 or 3 kilos. You're not gonna use the brand. No brand in here, mate. But,
we might get sponsored then, so we
look, do that about 30 times. That's going to create resistance and that's going to create a burn. Rest about 30 seconds. Then you could do a side lateral raise.
And you
could
don't
do
need
a
the gym
rear
for
delt.
that. The beauty, you don't need the gym for that, do you?
Nah, but you could do some. Look, you can bicep curls. See that there? You see, a little bit of weight, mate.
And you know what? And for people who's not as strong as you, they can start off on the little bowls of water.
Yeah, I've got little. Nutter.
So anyone who's going to go and buy some dumbbells, don't bother. Just go and buy a little bottle of water, 1/2 bottle of litre of water, and a great big one.
No.
You're sorted.
Get those big bottles, those 5 litres. There you go. Then you could do some proper weights. Proper.
Again, let's talk about getting size at the moment. I'm not talking about eating McDonald's and KFC just to get a bit of size. We're talking about packing on some quality muscle, right? If you do too much cardio, will it actually decrease your muscle size?
Well, that's actually debatable. It depends on how you train initially. Okay, if you do lots of cardio and you don't do any resistance, you're not going to build quality muscle. But if you do a lot of hard quality resistance work and you want to get big, doing too much cardio is going to be counterproductive. It depends on your goals, for instance, you see. So, I mean, at the moment, my goal is just to maintain the physique I have. All right. So to maintain the physique I have, my macros are at a certain level.
Explain to people what macros are, because I mean, some people just don't think macros is where you go and do your shopping like Costco.
Oh no, it's the amount of protein and carbs you have in your system, and that creates the amount of calories that your body needs to maintain the amount of food that you need to maintain your body weight, basically in the amount of protein, fats, and carbs and fiber in your system. Everybody's macros are different depending on your body type, depend on your age, depend on your physical activity. So for me, for instance, I train in a way where at the moment, you're making use of what you have at home. So therefore, as I said to you before, I do have a little bit of sugars, but I counteract that by doing 2 lots of cardio a day. Okay. So if I decided not to do any cardio, I will probably not have any sugars in my diet at all, because that's only going to be turned into fat. So I will probably have 1 cheat meal a week or one treat a week, and keep my diet as clean as possible. Ratio being about about 200 grams of protein, 150 grams of carbs, and the rest of them is going to be fats. Just to maintain.
Are you still weighing your food, or now you're not competing? You're not weighing it, or you just go buy it?
The only thing I weigh at the moment is my porridge, is my oats. I have 60 grams of oats. That's it. That's the only thing I weigh. Everything else I just look at and think, okay, that's about 200 grams of protein. That's about 100 grams of carbs per meal. Oh, that's about 100 grams of veg per meal.
I want to go to Michael Davis's point as well in a minute. But for people who don't know, Len, how much protein, how much carbs you need per your body, your body weight, to see some gains, to see that fluctuation in your body, which bodybuilders seem to go up and down how they feel like it.
Well, generally, you go on the assumptions of science, okay. But I've been doing this a while, so I know what my body needs, and generally, my body needs about 250 grams of protein. It's usually 3 times your body weight, roughly. But I'm 100 kilos, so I'm not going to have 300 grams of protein a day. I would say roughly it's about 2.5. So, 250 grams to 200 to 250 grams of protein is what my body needs a day, just to hold my size. But it depends on your activity. It depends on how active you are throughout the day. But that's where carbs comes into it, and your fats. You see, if you're an active person, perhaps you need a little bit more carbs, perhaps you need a little bit more fats, and perhaps you need a little bit a little bit more protein, a little bit less carbs, and a little bit more fats. So you always have to juggle your macros depending on your activity, depending on your age, depending on your sex as well. You see, so all these things you have to take into consideration when you're constructing someone's diet. And I noticed that the guy said about would intermittent fasting be a good subject to cover. Yeah, it would be. It would be, because I know a lot of people who have done that, but it works for them short term. Yeah.
So for somebody who doesn't know what it is, can you explain to the viewers what intermittent fasting is?
It's where somebody perhaps decides not to eat for 12 hours.
Just to give their body a shock.
Just to give their body a shock, and then eats enough for the next 12. In general speaking, if you sleep 8 hours, the majority of that time is going to be during your sleep time anyway. Yeah. So intermittent fasting, it could be longer. It could be longer. So that's generally that 12 hours of not eating, and you could eat throughout the day. I mean, look at it for instance. For now, I mean, Ramadan is about to start, so you're going to get a lot of people who are doing that roughly anyway. But intermittent fasting is something which you can perhaps do for a shorter period of time. But we're talking about longevity here, and we're talking about having that lifestyle where you can manage your weight and you can achieve your goals and you can stay healthy. Yeah. And that's all. These fads come and go. They come and they go, but you can't beat the basics. The basics always work. Having a balanced diet, being consistent, and having good night's sleep. Yeah. Rest and recuperation. Yeah. Increased intensity and a good solid nutrition. You cannot go wrong. Don't care what anybody says. You can't go wrong with that. Yeah. And that's the most important thing. And proof, I think.
You know what?
Hold on a minute. Let me just stand up, sit up straight so people can see me. And they go, oh, yeah, he's all right. There you go. Can I fit in the camera? It's all right. That's better.
You know what, Lynn? And everybody's body's the same. We've all got the red blood cells, white blood cells. We've all got the blood running through our veins. It's all the same colour, regardless of what colour you are, regardless of what your beliefs are. We're all the same. Human beings are all the same.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
It's mental application, and it's that to doing the right things and being consistent, isn't it? And you can do it.
But it's it's all about having the mindset. It's easy for me to say all this, but you've got to have the right mindset, and people have their lives to live. Everybody has problems within their life, and you've got to try to overcome that. If you can, it's easy. As I said, it's easy for me to say. When I had a stroke, it was bad, mate, because I thought I'd never be able to train again. My confidence, my self-esteem went way down.
Which is a great subject we're going to come on to soon as well. Go on, carry on.
I mean, although I probably didn't look any different, I thought that I looked like shit.
Yeah.
This is when I was still living in Spain. So I think it was 2 weeks after I was in hospital for about 10 days. And after that, I came back and, I left the hospital, and I remember one time I took my son to the beach.
Can you see these pictures, Len?
I can indeed. Oh, they're nice pictures. You see, that was about 3 or 4 years ago. That was, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. That picture. I was actually in Malaga, and that was probably about a year after I had the stroke. So wow. I took a photo shoot on the beach. If you go back to the other one. Go back to the other photo with me in Malaga, yeah, because that's poignant actually, because I'm talking about having a stroke. That was post me having a stroke, so that was probably about a year after.
Wow.
I was in hospital for about 2 weeks, and I was off training for about another month or so, I think, and I lost a lot of weight. Well, relatively, I was 120 kilos. I went down to perhaps about 100.
Len,
during that time.
In that picture, you look like you were looking for say. You look like you lost your flip flop.
I lost my what? Sorry?
Your flip-flops.
My flip-flops. Listen, I'm posing. I'm posing. That's my pose. I'm posing. I'm trying to look good there.
You did look good. You did look good. It's me. I'm jealous.
All right, that photo was about 3 years ago when I actually did a guest appearance at a bodybuilding show. I was actually judging. So I knew I was going to be the guest star beforehand. So I actually dieted and I got on stage as a guest star. Okay, although I would have been judging that particular show, but I just wanted to show the audience and especially the competitors that when you're being judged by judges, some of us do know what we're talking about because we've actually been there and we've actually done it and we can still do it. So I decided to get in shape for that, and that was a proper diet, I must say. I always diet. If I want to do something, I want to do it proper, no matter what it is, and that's the reason why I got in shape for that. Actually, it was very, very good, very nice.
Let me try and get you back because I need to come out this screen now. Where am I?
I can see you, but your head's taken over a lot. Yeah, that's better because your head was just Jesus.
You mentioned you lost a bit of size and you start to feel. I'm on twice now. 1 second, let me just get out. I have a nightmare now. There we go.
Okay.
One of me. Yeah, that's it. You know what? A lot of people go to the gym because they've got insecurities. Sometimes the best people in the best shape have still got the same body hang-ups and the same insecurities as somebody who's got who might be anorexic, or might have a beer belly, anything. Might be short, might be too tall. Might be not well endowed down there, might be massive down there. Whatever. Everyone's got insecurities about themselves. I don't care who you are. There's not a perfect person out there.
No, there isn't.
So, has a bodybuilder got more insecurities than your everyday Joe in the street?
Well, I'm judging by my experiences, and I would say most definitely. Okay, I mean, it's a paranoia, but it's a good thing to always want more. Sometimes I never feel I look as good as I want to because I have this idea in my head of what I want to look like.
Yes, right.
And I can never get that. I can never achieve that because I want to train hard and I want to always do the best I can. So I've got a goal, I've got a vision in my mind, and I've got this thing I can see that I want to I can't get it. See, I can never achieve it, but I'm going to try as hard as I can to make sure I do the best I can to try to get there. So I don't look good. I mean, there's some clients who I train, right? And this has happened a few times where he or she doesn't have had a bad day and I feel like shit, and I say, Lenny, look, I don't really feel good. I feel really tired and I look like shit. And some guy walks past and says, wow, Lenny, your client is looking fantastic.
Yeah.
You're looking great, by the way, to them. And they change just like that.
Do you say that to your clients or do you tell them the truth?
No, I tell them the truth. If they're looking good, they're looking good. If they're not looking as good, I want to know why. Because am I not doing my job? So I make sure I'm as honest as possible. Okay, but I'm just trying to say, when somebody gives somebody else a compliment, that makes a massive difference.
It does, yeah.
Massive difference, especially when they think they're not looking as good. Because they probably feel a bit, had a bad day, or their training or their diet isn't on point, or they've just come, woke up the wrong side of the bed. Somebody gives them a compliment, and it changes the day, just like that. It's good to have people around you who make you feel good, yeah. But you have to be honest with people around you as well. That's the most important thing. Be around people who make you feel good, who make you feel positive, and who are honest.
What? So not going to spin it rhinos then, because they're not honest with you, are they? When they're doing their lap last year.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Well, don't know what you're on about.
Yeah, as I don't know, even with bodybuilders like yourself, you know, and you know, even when you're at the top of your game, at a very pinnacle, you knew how good you looked, but then all of a sudden the arena changes because you go into you then compete against bigger guys and better guys as well, and so you've still always got that thing in your head, haven't you? That I could be better.
Well, of course, Sonny, because remember I started off in a community centre around the corner, all right, and then I made massive improvements. I competed my first show. I think I was still in there, still in that community centre. And I was in another community centre, called Mobley. That was just down on Kilburn Lane, and I competed, and I was still in the community centre. I remember when I was going to my first show, I was supposed to meet a school friend of mine who was going to go to Lewisham on the 36 bus, and he didn't turn up at the bus stop. So I thought, shit, what am I going to do? So I went on my own. Got on the bus on my own, all the way to Lewisham. I think it was some town hall or something. And all these big guys everywhere. I thought, Ross, Jesus, man, what am I going to do? I just got my ticket. No, sorry, I went to watch. Sorry, that was watching my first show in Lewisham. So I got my ticket for the show, and I stood up went up in the stalls, and I sat there the whole thing. The juniors come on, and I thought, oh, these guys I could beat them. Anyway, I left, and I thought, really, really good. Trained hard for my first show. That was a NABA Southeast Britain, and I was in the juniors 17s and under section. So I was 16.
What weight was you back in it?
I was a flyweight. I was a junior, man. I was light, but I dieted to a certain extent. Didn't know what I was doing, but I was having cheese sandwiches or cheese salad. I thought that was cheese on tuna salads. But yeah, it worked because I won my first show. But going back to what you was talking about, I was still in Mobley, but I thought, I want to improve. I want to be the best. I want to be the worst in the gym. I don't want to be the best. People are saying to me, I'm looking good, and I want people to say to me, you're not looking good. You need to improve. So I went to another gym, Tops Gym. The guy was my mentor. His name.
Wait, Peckham.
The guy who
Peckham.
No. This was it was based in West Hampstead.
Okay.
It was run by a man called Philip Topping, who was my mentor. I went to the gym, and I decided to stay. And I competed as a junior throughout my juniors in Tops Gym. And he would tell me when I'm looking shit. And the thing is, I would walk in the gym, not to anybody, and train hard. That's it. Go in there.
At what age did you stop being natural?
Do I have to tell you? Okay, I was how old was I? 20, I think. Okay,
so between 16 and 20, you was winning all these shows. You was looking really good. So basically, you've won natural or not natural. So
I won the Junior London, Junior Capital City, a few other junior shows, and I came fifth in the Junior Britain of my first year, and I came fifth in the Junior World Championships, and that was all natural. Yeah, and then the year after, I turned pro. I decided to cross over. That was the little bit
to the dark side.
No, it wasn't. It was something which me and my mentor talked about for a long periods of time, and luckily, I am very level-headed. Yeah, and I know what's good for me, and I know what's not good for me. So, as I said to you about having people around you who are positive and who are knowledgeable, thank God I have had that throughout my career. I don't have any ideas about. If I don't have any ideas about something, I will ask. Yeah, and that's how it worked for me. Luckily, I had the right people around me to give me the right advice. And hence the reason why I'm still here, still training. So I can do any workouts. I'm not as strong as I used to be, because I'm 52, for God's sake. Well, you know, come on. But I maintain my level of intensity when I train, because I want to always give it 100% no matter what. Even when I'm here in the living room screaming my head off, mate, with a couple of dumbbells, I just got to make sure that I don't bang the weights on the wooden floor. Otherwise, there'll be trouble. I mean, we're on the top floor. So, I mean, Patrick can tell you, I'm about rah. But at the end of the day, I need it. I want it because I still have that desire on lockdown. You know,
Arnold said that pump is like coming, didn't he? Yeah, that was Arnie's thing.
He's lying, mate. Come on.
But the feeling with that pump is nice. But you know what? Back in the day when I was a lot younger, you know, we always
hold on a minute, Sonny. Look, listen. You know what? We was all younger back in the day, mate.
Yeah,
anyway,
but a lot younger. We also always had that little disco pump before we went out, didn't we? But then it gets to a point.
I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about you using the old bull worker before you'd go out to overnight?
The little disco
pump. The bull worker out.
The little disco pump and a press ups against the toilet door. Yeah, even in the club. Them ones. But that's just me. But then it gets to the point where you think, hang on a minute, I don't need this disco pump no more. I'm looking like this already. You know, let's be such. If you feel not happy about yourself, listen, we're going to cut it now because this was just a little general chat, just to introduce the first show.
Hold on, what's the time? Ross, we've been talking all this time, Sonny. I thought this would be for 5 minutes, man. I'm hungry. I'm a bodybuilder. I have to eat.
And there's so much there is to learn. There's so much. You know, we haven't even touched the surface of nothing yet. No, there's so much to come. This is just a chat where we just met at the bus stop, you know. But there's so much to come from this show, especially when it starts to get interactive as well. That's going to be the beauty of it, where everyone in the comments is going to start firing questions at you, and it's going to get to the point where we you know, send us in a photograph, and we will monitor your training, and you know, pros like Lenny's and Ehren Wadley's and everyone else are here to help you guys. You know, we could be your lifestyle coaches, and you know what? Even at this age, and now I've got all these boys together, I'm going to take full advantage of it. And next year, when I'm sitting here talking to you lot, I want to look very good.
You will.
People we've got coming on the show. You know, I've got big up Ehren Wadley, good friend of mine, Del, South QRQ from the famous Muscle Works Gym. Brilliant place to train. We've got Paul Ehrens going to be coming on from Fort Galaxy, another great gym, is where I train. Loads of people. We've got loads of people. We're going to try and contact with Eddie Boo, Rhino, if you're watching, Mark Smith, hit me up. Nick Halley, loads of people coming, and that's just on the weight side of it. Then we've got athletes, we've got runners. Like I said, everything's coming, but we're going. So subscribe, Saints TV Arsenal. Now we're not talking about Arsenal. Let's talk about something positive, and that's each other. So Len, give us a little closing motivational word, please. All
right. Smile. You know, it's going to be sunny tomorrow, so smile, be positive, stay safe, and stay healthy, guys.
That's the one. Join us next week, boys. I'll be posted up the time, and the show's going to get better and better. Love you all, and speak to you soon. Lenny, my bro, thanks for your time, and we'll see you next week. I'm not going to do that. Give me 6 months. I'm doing that with you. Take care, everyone.
See you guys. Bye.